Good morning, everybody. Oh, you guys are just a bunch of loving souls. You know, it's so great when you have humans with their hearts open and full of love. Isn't it cool? I mean, the power at this level that a human can generate is unbelievable. And so it's really neat to see so many loving souls out there. Um, no one's supposed to know what the 13th is, so would you guys stop it? Thank you so much. Is that not an incredibly beautiful card? I mean, that invokes this you at leaving the physical world. Of course, the dream catcher catching dreams, but thank you so much there, dears. And this beautiful card, too. Thank you so much out there. I love you all. Thank you, but we don't want to know what that day is, okay? Oh, I hope you all are well. And if you're not, let's get well, okay? I know some of you are struggling to get through this, and but you're doing fantastic. I know the Facebook is just roaring. But you know what? It's going to temper you guys in how to work with people and each other, and to give each other space and respect, and you know, and get on with the healing art there. So you guys are incredible. You know, I have just one thing to say about don't sweat the small stuff. You know, there's nothing. I mean, when you look to the Supreme Being in its entirety, it's perfect. When you look at creation, you're moving between two poles, like protons and electrons, you know. So you have to just realize that. And there's nothing exact. There's no exacting science to this. Although in time, there just might be. Some of you real brainos out there can, you know, put this together, because I love the science and practice of detoxification. It's another book that I'm working on. And it's more of an art, in my opinion, than a science. Science backs it in every way. When you look at chemistry, and you look at magnetics, and you look at anionic and cationic environments, and you know, you get down to the atoms and the exchange of electrons and things like this, and you can prove all of this through chemistry and physics. But there's so many theories out there and idealisms that it's better just to go simplistic. Then the mind isn't bogged down with all this intellectualism, and you don't get lost again. Because in actuality, simplicity is the best way if you want to keep your spiritual fortitude. If you're an intellectual, then, you know, you can have fun in those fields. I don't chastise anybody. Tear it apart all you want. But be careful you don't get too lost there, because typically this happens. And you've seen this with people on the YouTube. You know, you get too lost in concepts and ideas. Some of us have just been here a long time and through a lot of these theories and concepts of natural health, and come out on the top of this, and sifting through the crap and the illusions and the propagandas and the misinformations and the theories, and what is actuality. And actuality is taking place as we're sitting here or standing or whatever you're doing. It's taking place. Open the doors and windows and look outside. It's all taking place. So theories can be theories, but actualities, you know. So a lot of you are seeing the actuality of detoxification, and I'm going to try to go over some of these more important, and not that none of your questions are as important as another, because I love every one of them, so I appreciate that. So not to cut anyone, of course, but some people here have some problems here, and those of you, if I can't get to you or I'm not getting to you, please repost and put repost, and that way I'll know to grab that one, because it is overwhelming with the questions here. There's no question about it, and it's a time problem with me, and then the class coming up, it just becomes more of a time problem. This is a nice email from Daniel. This is another rock and roller man. What do you got there? You got a 6-string there. This guy's a rock and roller. He's been 3 months fruitarian, practically all fruit, low fat, green juices on occasion. Blah 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 blah. He's burning 24/7. I am starting to freak out. I have been on lymphatic 1, kidneys, bladder 1, pancreas, stomach and bowels 1 for a month, brain and nerve 1 week, astragalus single tincture, like that one. for 1 month for adrenal tincture, gave me the high blood pressure symptoms. Yeah, that's the problem with that one. So I'm going to eliminate that out of that, even though it's so good for low blood pressure cases, no question. And maybe I could keep that one and put for low blood pressure only. Let me see if fungus can experience a constant burn in the stomach. Well, listen, no. I heard you say in one of your videos, if one has fungal infections, they can experience a constant pain in the stomach. No, I didn't say that. If you have sulfur, you have a constant pain in your stomach like that, but you don't have sulfur, my friend. When you sent me your eyes here, which is probably the best thing you could do, I need a closer picture, but you definitely have stuff going on in your stomach. Matter of fact, you burned your stomach a little bit here because I'm just going to, at this level of picture, it appears that you have broken down some of the stomach tissue, and you want to really remedy this one, because that these are some of the signs where you're walking towards stomach cancer. So you want to unwalk down that road, and this is a case where you absolutely stay off of all protein. And I'll say this, is that when you experience nausea or pain, even with the fruit, you got some things going on here in the stomach. And that, it isn't the fruit that's doing it, it's your body that's the problem. So you've got to fix the body. Now you can use marshmallow tea, slippery elm tea, Heal-All tea. If I was you, my friend, I would just suck down the Heal-All tea. I would sip it and drink it off and on all day long and let my stomach heal. Stay away from the acid fruits. Stay subacid or sweet fruits, melons. Just cool off down that line. Even with salads, I'd be very careful. Super chew them. Juice, of course, you juice your greens and stuff, but you might have to take it a little slower with the juicing, because hitting the stomach with that much power could cause you. But if you throw up, okay, good, you probably need it, tell you the truth, because there's something going on in your stomach. These eyes aren't close enough, but there's a lot of black immediately around your pupil. That's never favorable. So this is something that you're burning, and of course burning is an acid burn. Fungus doesn't deal with that. Fungus is just a microbe that deals in fermentation. You're burning because of acids. And so what I can see here, in your right side, you definitely have the big time kidneys, and it might even impact that whole right leg, but it definitely impacts the kidneys and adrenals here. And then when I get to either the coccyx, the lower spine, or I see the bladder, there's more problems going on there. So you really got to get after those kidneys and get that lymph moving. You have some malabsorption, obviously you have some interstitial lymphatic constipation in the bowel wall, but you've got some black stuff in the stomach area. Immediately around your pupil, you should have a nice round pupil, and if you look at your eyes, you've got black immediately around there. I don't know how close you're going to be able to see these guys. I don't know. I don't have anybody in here helping me. But he has black immediately around the pupil. This is the dude, the guitar player. So this is real important, Daniel, that you fix this and get this healed up there. The stomach and bowel formulas are great. If you can tolerate lymphatic 1 capsules, I probably would. I'd start out with 1, maybe 3 times a day, move up to 2, then maybe move up to 3 if you can tolerate them. But definitely some Heal-All tea or slippery elm marshmallow tea is what I would do to start healing that stomach wall. Again, get down to those kidneys and really get those kidneys and adrenals up and start filtering. It's real important that you do that. I think you're real sensitive with the blood pressure because of the kidney weakness going on there. Left side, still same type of picture, kidneys, but then I'm picking up the groin and the hip here on that side. Maybe a little left testicle on that side. A lot of sinus there, and we're getting up toward the upper neck here on the left side. But you got pretty good genes here, so you just got to move lymph, get the kidneys back in order, and fix that stomach, fix that GI tract there. Something's burnt you there. So stay away from all proteins. Just watch what you're ingesting from an acid. Your blood work here looks pretty good. A little high bilirubin, of course, but you know, with the stomach like that, I just see, I mean, it's hard to see the gallbladder from here, but definitely looks like there's a little black. It looks like you have a spastic bowel right at the gallbladder region, which would mean there is a genetic weakness in the gallbladder there. So that could be part of the problem. So you want to, I would also kind of pick up my liver gallbladder with a formula, at the same time go after my stomach and stuff. I don't think the pancreas is at issue so much. Maybe better eyes, closer eyes would be able to pick that up better. Creatine's not bad here, so I'm pretty good with that. All your white blood cells, red blood cells, everybody looks good there. So that's what I would do. His normal blood pressure is 104/65, so you know he runs low with the adrenals there. But you see that. So this guy's from the UK. This is a Ouija bird. Hey, my friend. Yeah, I just talked with you. Yeah. You. Thanks for the pictures and everything. You've got to heal that stomach up, my friend. Thanks for sending this here. I appreciate that. And I get to see what you look like there. That's what's nice about even if you didn't have the iris, though, it's enough to say that if you're consuming fruits or herbs and your stomach is giving you a fit, you got a problem in the stomach. So you can't, sometimes we tend to blame what we're consuming and not blaming the body and its condition. And we need to understand that anybody should be able to suck down a whole bunch of fruit and everything else like that and go right along. And if you can't, you got to work yourself out of that. When you have this kind of burning going on, when you feel a burning, that's acids. It can be alkalized, but you'd be way up there. So these are predominantly, I think we could safely say these are acids. And of course acids are found in the lymphatic system and cell waste. So this is problematic when we look at it that way and understand that this all ties in with the lymph system. Now you can burn the stomach when the pancreas isn't producing enough bicarbonate or the liver. So really I would pick up my gallbladder liver and get that a little healthier, at the same time cool down that stomach and stay on the cooling fruit. This is a 19-month-old. They wanted me to do a video on this one. This lady's suffering, and I want to appreciate the donation. Someone sent in $100. I don't know if people want me to give out their names or what. Another person sent in $50. So we have two cases. This case is one of them. We're going to help the other case, although you can only help so much. But another case that's real exciting to me. I'm going to talk to her this morning. This sounds exciting. She's a young woman in a wheelchair. I don't know if she's a quad or paraplegic. She does have some upper arm movement. Since she's been on Raw, she feels her toes. That means she can get up and walk. So we need to get her walking, and that's one case I'm going to take on myself because I want her up walking. This is a 19-month-old. I have a question about children's nutrition and herbal supplements to help heal my son Charlie's digestive tract. To give up a little bit of history, let's see, is 19 months old and was diagnosed with a food protein sensitivity. Good, to get him off of all. Well, you know what? Nobody handles the Ensures and the baby's formulas and stuff like this. And I've said this before, somebody ought to take Ensure on and sue them for false advertising. You get a bottle of crap hugging on fruits and vegetables in the refrigerator to give people the thought that when you're drinking Ensure, it's just like eating fruits and vegetables. That's a lie. And that's just unacceptable type of advertising. And that's the kind of thing. If your product's good, stand on its own 2 feet, and you just can't prove that. You can't prove a chocolate leaf goo, chemical goo, is the same magnetics and chemistry ratios of fruits and vegetables. That's ridiculous, and that's what they were insinuating. You can't prove a chocolate leaf goo, chemical goo, is the same magnetics and chemistry ratios of fruits and vegetables. That's ridiculous, and that's what they were insinuating. And so it's false advertising. And it's kind of a bad, and you're going to see a lot of that because people are starting to understand that the health is in the fruits and veggies. And for humans, particularly in the fruits and the berries and the melons. And people are starting to wake up to that. So it's all, you see it all over the TV. You got the Dr. Oz's out there. You have all these medical doctors coming aboard, of course, with their influences, and then they're pushing that, which is good. you can see through the ups and downs on Oz's stuff, and that's okay. The fact that he's out there promoting these things is a good thing. I really, you know, anyone can get out there and do that. I enjoyed his people at the zoo area. Now, he could not tolerate my breast milk or soy formulas, and when he did have them, he had mucus and blood in the stool. Yeah, I mean, this is where even as an infant, you've got to shift them away. The coconut milks are really the most gentle and the easiest milks on the digestive tract. It promotes good bowel movements, high fatty acids, good for brain and nerve development. You can also, we have to put some of these children at 19 months. He's ready. We're ready to go with him. We don't need nothing like that anymore. He needs fruits, bad. Fruits, berries, and melons. 19 months old, are you kidding me? And he should be starting to eat. And so we need to get some fruits and berries and melons down this youngster, no matter how little at any given time there. Food protein, enterocolitis syndrome, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know, as we've been talking, at 19 months old, this child has kidney and adrenal problems right off. That's an assumption that everyone should make. Because that assumption, whether you're right or half wrong, you would never be all wrong, because I could safely probably say I could put $1,000 on that table, and if you could find me some child born today with a healthy set of kidneys and adrenals, you can have that $1,000. You're just not going to find that. It's just not out there. And so it's a degree of that. But in these youngsters here, you're really finding some serious lymphatic problems. And you say digestive, but you have to go back and understand that in the digestive tract, we're talking about cells and two fluids. No matter where you turn, pancreas, gallbladder, liver, GI tract itself, gut tissue itself, it's all just cells and two fluids. What breaks down cells are always the acid side, the corrosive side of chemistry, and also the lymphatic system that deals with that. So over time, and all these genes passing down from these high protein diets have created an intolerance to them completely, and that's what you're seeing here, a complete intolerance to anything that even smacks of dairy or protein. And you will go back, some of you in the class will have access to some of these older books here we're going to have for you, and you'll see where these guys tore it up and just blew the myth out of the door of proteins. We just are not a protein species, and we got to get over that concept of protein. I don't know, people are trying to drive it home, and I don't know why, because it's not a valid argument. So you'll see this youngster do much better. Shift him into the fruits and the berries and the melons in particular, and some coconut milk. Either get the good coconuts or take the Thai coconuts. Or I really like in between Thai and what you see way overripe in the grocery store. Thai coconuts to me are not ripe enough. You let them ripen a little longer and that meat starts to solidify. You can tear that meat right out of that coconut, and there is nothing any more pleasurable than to eat that. Very nirvanic and very nutritious. So these are some of the things these children can start getting on and developing their mind and emotions and their brain function. At the same time, you got to get into the kidneys. So this is a 19-month-old. I'm going to say that if it was me, I'd probably at least, you can ask Jennifer, she's dealt with kids so much here, but I would say at 19 months old, it's going on 2 years old, I'd probably do at least 6 drops of lymphatic 1 and 6 drops of kidney 1. I would probably do some parasite on them, 6 drops of that, and maybe 6 drops of the endocrine gland. You might even do 3 drops of the liver gallbladder here. And if it was me, I would be doing that to my son. With the bowel issues, you could use the stomach and bowel capsule, open it up and mix it into applesauce. And make yourself some fresh applesauce here and feed this young man some applesauce with that in there. I even attempted being on an extremely restrictive diet myself, eating only fresh or cooked fruits and vegetables, oats, rice, and gluten-free items. It helped a little. Well, first of all, oats, rice, crap, starch. Keep in mind, this was way before I knew about the raw food diet. Yeah, I understand. You guys are doing well. He was then placed on an amino acid-based formula. Huh. Well, that's protein. But amino acids, okay, you know, not as complex, so I agree. But get them through your fruits and berries and your melons, where the primates do, and then you'll have a real strong little monkey here. I was not thrilled about having to give him formula, but it was the only thing that truly helped him. Now that he is older, I have noticed many fruits and vegetables I'm giving him. All right, he does not eat any meat, soy, dairy, or grains. I hope not. Corn, pasta, rice, on occasional potato. I have been doing this intuitively ever since. Well, good work, but at that age, don't get him used to starches, because then you'll have fungal problems. Because with the adrenals in children like this, they're not going to metabolize their sugars well in the first place. That's another problem we face. And then, of course, starches is just going to bring in the fungal family more. So I really would tell you, stay away from starches. You know, use the coconuts and the fresh fruits and the berries and the melons, and you'll have a little powerhouse kid after he gets all the mucus out from the previous proteins and stuff. So he'd probably go into a little sinus or bronchitis or something like that's possible. I know my son's digestive system is not completely healed yet. The mucus is gone and has been for a year, but he still has lots of undigested food in his stool. Ooh. And he was extremely low iron count. Well, that's the adrenal gland, so that makes sense to me. At the same time, you could use a little pancreatic as well. You could use a little, get the capsules maybe, and just take a fourth of a capsule maybe, and put it in a little applesauce, you know, something like that, and start working on that pancreas. Again, this is why you want the most simplest of foods for this young man. They digest easy, they lend their aminos and all their nutrition easy. The problem is going to be absorption and, you know, and that sort of thing. So I'd promote chewing better for the youngster and getting in those kind of habits, but going after that. Matter of fact, you could alternate. You could do a little pancreas for a couple of weeks and then do a little liver gallbladder for a couple of weeks. You could go back and forth if it's a financial problem, but you just need a little bit, just a few drops. When he got a paper cut the other day, it bled like crazy. Well, he is also craving things like ice and wanting to pick out like hair and chalk. Oh. Well, he's probably starving. I mean, realistically, he's probably not absorbing his nutrition well. And you might want to give him some greens just to give you some additional minerals and stuff, but you definitely want to make parsley a bit of that green. You got to fix it up for him a little bit with a little apple or something to make it sweet so he'll tolerate it. But I'd be very, very gentle on the greens. Let's see here. As I said, I have been juicing greens and giving that to him every day, along with giving him an iron supplement. He's also still drinking. You have to be careful with iron supplements, though, because they're acidic, and you can also create more bonding that you might not want there. So be just careful with that. Get the adrenals up, and you'll see his iron going up. Poor little fella. I mean, you're just going to see a lot of this, but you see a lot of this and a lot worse out there. Just unbelievable problems here. Well, I wouldn't give him supplements, but I'd definitely give him what I was talking about. If you want to give him a little supplement, get that God's Blend powder and mix it into some applesauce or something. That's got all the nutrition in the world in it, even more so. So a little God's Blend, which is the God's Garden superfood, you can mix a little bit of that in some applesauce, highly nutritive, got some herbs in there for the lymph and the kidneys as well. At the same time, this isn't, you're doing good with the nutritional side. It's getting the nutrition into him, and that becomes the lymphatic side. You see what I'm saying? So we get back to that lymphatic side again every time we take a look at anything like this. So you've got capsules you can open up and put just a little bit into a applesauce. You get the coconut milks, which you'll probably take down quite readily. The fruits and berries, you know how all of that's doing. Also, what are your thoughts on freeze-dried fruits and vegetables? Perfect. Okay, I mean, it's definitely a choice. Not as nice as the living, but certainly okay. They are considered a raw food. Well, I mean, anytime you alter a food in any way, dehydrate it or whatever, you're gonna change its water-soluble contents, which is your flavonoids and your Bs and stuff. But with that said, you know, it's a form. Between the frozen, I like a little better, and then of course raw is the only way. And when you're talking about a young soul there in a little human body, that little body's got to grow. Living food is what all living cells need, of course. Please know I plan to posting this to all my FPIES blogs out there to get the word out about raw diet. Yeah, these moms have got to get their babies back online here. Real important to do that. And these formulas, even breast milk, these children are not tolerating anything like that anymore. So we're having to do different things early on. The coconut milk is mostly tolerable by most infants. Which you can mix the milk and the especially if you don't get these old coconuts you get in these grocery stores, they're all dehydrated out almost. That meat should be real pliable and easy to peel off the nut there, off the shell. But mixing that and then filtering it, that would be excellent. Source keeps the bowels moving nice, and then the fruits and the berries pounding the body with flavonoids and high nutrition and high magnetics, and that boy will come out of it. And all these children will. I mean, and we're seeing this so early on, we're having to make them do the fruits and the coconuts almost out to shoot. I mean, this is part of what we're facing very serious issues here. Thanks so much, Megan, for your question there. I'm going to say that's about the best you can do. The herbs, you always want to think about the kidneys. Think about where most of the problems are in the children. Neurological, which sweeps right back to the adrenal glands. So bottom line, adrenals, kidneys, lymphatics, you're seeing that. That's reaching into the GI tract. Of course, there's no such thing as healthy GI tracts. There's no way. I could put $1 million down there on the table. Be nice to see that kind of money, but put $1 million down on that kind of table and no one would take it because there's no healthy colon in the world. This was established many moons ago. So we're really just a product of our misguided omnivorish diets that we have to get and pull back and start regenerating tissue. This is the only level that you're going to find out there, guys, that it's going to be that humans have to move to, because we've decayed so long that we can't continue decaying and keep the race. If God doesn't want the Homo sapien race, fine. But as souls, you guys want to get yourself aligned and prepare for that side of it. This is the person, M-I-L-D-A, Milda. I don't know which is. I've got some markings here. 2 more cases. Let me see here. This is from Lithuania. Hello there, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see. First case is my brother's. He's 25 years old now. As a newborn, he was vaccinated tuberculosis, poliomyelitis. It's interesting how they suck those 2 words together. That's because when they started vaccinating for polio went up 680%. I mean, they created so much polio from the vaccine polio, it wasn't even funny, and they still are doing it today. You don't hear about it as much, but there's a ton of polio set in motion by the vaccine, so that was cute. So then, according to, what was it, Wallach or whatever, he's the emerging virus guy, which I thought was a very well written book. Claim they changed the symptoms from polio to meningitis. I mean, this is just, this is how corruption is, and I don't know what one does about that much corruption. But all I have to say that to those that are corrupt, one word, karma. Jesus said it quite aptly too, you reap what you sow. So if you as a soul knew that when you hurt someone else you're going to get it right back, but maybe even a little worse, you're not going to hurt somebody because you're going to have to experience it. You experience everything you create, no matter what it is. You experience it. You can't get out of it. That's why, that's also some of the secrets of how you get out of creation, is you quit creating. Don't care about anything. Just live in the moment. Enjoy the moment. Everything will be there for you. You'll be surprised if you learn to live in the now and you're walking down and you need something, it's right there. I was fighting the IRS. I needed a good constitutional attorney. Where do I get one? And one walked right in my office and said, I need your help. I said, I need yours. So that was, I mean, that's how God works. I mean, it's just great. But when we push too hard, the door doesn't want to open. I learned this a long time ago. Don't open any doors that pushing too hard to open. Once you do, you find out, oh, now I know why it was closed for me. I've learned that so many times. I've had my butt kicked so many times that way. So if the door doesn't open, I back off and start to go another way. Thank you. You know, and you'll find that's the best way to live life. Pushing on a door that's real closed for a reason. Let me see here. Okay, so we started out with bronchitis, then it went to laryngitis. Remember, every time you suppress with antibiotics, the next experience is deeper. Simple cold and flu, sinus congestion, goes into bronchitis, goes into pneumonia, doesn't go in. It's just, when you suppress congestion, remember you're constantly creating congestion. And especially if you're eating the same way that's creating the congestion, like with the dairies and the things like that. So everything is going to get worse and worse and worse and worse, and it does. Or we could call them different diseases if we were not had our thinking hat on, right? Huh. After this, bronchitis, antibiotics at 9, 10, developed chronic obstructive bronchitis. Yeah, hello. Once at this age, he started to choke. Reanimation department during intravenous drip. His body started turning blue. Adrenaline shot to his head. During this third year, he felt his first symptoms of allergies. So the fingers are swelling, bleeding nose, bloom, 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 bloom. So he's got itching in a private part, endoscopy of the bowels didn't show any abnormal, liver function is also normal. Why? By blood work. Gallbladder, polyp in his gallbladder. He's feeling weakness in his whole body. He has bulged up his nose about it. He has bunged up nose for almost a year, and occasionally after he walks, he had dark mucus in his mouth. Oh, black mucus in his mouth. That's not good. Cold and pleasant internal shudder occurs to him being outside in colder weather. Well, he probably has, you know, big-time suppression of thyroid, a lot of congestion. He's loaded, he's blocked up here. You have to decongest this young man. You know, this young man, very lymphatics. I mean, this is all lymphatics, blah, 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 blah. And, of course, the lymph system is a great culturing medium for anything. So really, you got to go after this young man. Or he's young. He's 25 years old now. He's got to work on his kidneys, his adrenal glands, start cleaning up the body, as you see this here on the YouTube. We've laid out these protocols for you, and that's what I would do. Go right down, review some of these protocols, because a protocol for someone with cancer is the same protocol with some, basically. I mean, when you get into neurological and get into things, yeah, we use different herbal formulas to pick up these different tissues that we need to work on and make them healthy. But as a rule, we're going to detox the body the same way. We will watch and see whether people can tolerate that a level of aggressiveness. If not, we can back up, no problem. If we need to go faster, we can even go faster. But we like to start out gentle. That's why I use the first detox kit on people, just kind of a gentle, one lymphatic, one kidney. Got to deworm people right off. Got to pick up the liver a little bit, which will also grab the pancreas and pick up the stomach and bowels there. Pick up the endocrine gland. If you look at that, that's a nice, really way to start a detox program. You deworm your people. You open up the liver, the pancreas a little bit. You work on the GI tract. You get the kidneys up. You get the endocrine glands moving. Then, after a couple of weeks, if they don't see any really worms or anything, if you see worms and stuff, repeat that kit. But then, honk on, 2 kidney formulas, 2 lymphatics, 1 capsule, and you're really now starting to pull in and dig and pull on that lymph system and on those GI tracts and in the kidneys. At the same time, you're powering up the endocrine glands. And so this is the only way I've ever found that you can truly find remedy, and at the end of it, true regeneration and genetic remembering of cells. That's the only true way I've ever seen that ever done. Other than that, I don't see anything going on that's outstanding to me. Hippocrates not outstanding. Far from it. I don't see anything outstanding there. There are a few of you practitioners that are outstanding out there, absolutely. But you're working at these higher levels when you're outstanding out there. That's all I'm saying. I told him to eat raw as much as possible, fruits and greens, but low budget binds us down. And here in Lithuania, it's hard to get organic fruits. Well, you might not do organic there, dear ones. You just have to do whatever you can do. Keep the pesticides off of it, though. If you need a veggie wash and the like, the herbal teas would be good, absolutely, because it'll warm them up. The heal all tea or any detoxifying tea. And when you look at detoxifying teas, don't get these purgative herbs, you know, for the bowels and stuff. That's not true detox. Could you suggest some herbs? Well, you know, again, you're going after the kidneys, you're going after the lymphatic systems. Absolutely. If you need to go and get up into the lungs and bronchial trunk, I would use lungs number 2. We have a 3-lung T. I'd definitely get on that one and start detoxing. If you can't get it over there quick, then you look up pleurisy, mullein, and fenugreek. Most people can get fenugreek rolled over. Maybe not pleurisy root, but things that decongest. You know, things that decongest, things that loosen up hardened sputum or mucus, things like that. Slippery elm, marshmallow, excellent. Comfrey's excellent. Comfrey leaf for the lungs and bronchial trunk. But remember, when you start this, the healing crisis, mucus in, mucus out. So you're going to see a lot of mucus coming out of this young man, both out of the nose and everywhere else. Good. That's just you know, smell better, breathe better, hear better, taste better type of thing. Absolutely. Now, what we got here? A question for herself, a 22-year-old female. A few years ago, I was diagnosed with POTS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. Well, you know, whatever you want to call it that way. It's left ovary. Well, it just shows the left kidney is the one not filtering as good as the other one. My period became irregular. Don't come a few months during a year. Well, be thinking about the pituitary, dear one. I'd get on the, if it's me, I'd do the female reproductive formula. If that wasn't enough to get everybody started with the pituitary and everything, then I'd suggest you get a pituitary glandular. The endocrine gland formula will also pick up the pituitary a little bit. Has chaste tree, the same as female. Chaste tree is a great berry for the pituitary there. At the same time, with the cyst, you're dealing in the lymphatic system. So that's telling me that your lymphatic system, if this is your brother or friend, let me see, the first case is my brother. So you're going to have similar genetics there, dear one. But I can tell you hands down, as we all observe these cases, you're going to see kidneys and adrenals and lymphatics. Next, kidneys, adrenals, lymphatics. Next, kidneys, adrenals, and lymphatics. And it's just going to, and GI tract. You're going to see these few core issues every single case. And so by working on those core issues, you're really going to be like pulling the plug. And as you begin that hydration and changing the anionic environment there, you're going to create this cationic environment where you're going to start seeing all this coagulation, all this dehydration. You're going to see it now becoming hydrated and fluids becoming more cationic. And so it's going to be good in that way. You just have to remember the cationic and anionic experiences and how magnetism exists and how opposites attract to find balance. This is all about homeostasis and blah, 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 blah. But you can pull your hair out in tracking all of that and following all that, and at the end of the carrot, how are you going to tell your client that when they don't want to know? They're hurting. They want to know how to get well. 2 years ago, my journey to health living began. Let's see, the raw food experience, love the melons, good deal, sweetheart. Once a week, cooked vegetables, nuts, not bad. Doctors didn't find reason for my irregular periods. Oh my God. Well, here's the problem. FSH is normal. That's follicle stimulating hormone out of the pituitary gland. The problem with that is blood work is very inaccurate. I'll show you. You pick up the pituitary, get on the female reproductive, pick up the pituitary, you're going to start your menses again. Other tests also are normal. That's why I never use blood work or saliva for steroid and hormone look. Because, oh, FSH is good, but you're not having periods. You can see the same thing in TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, and the same thing in PTH, parathyroid stimulating hormone. You'll still see that the hormones show adequate, but at the same time you have hypoparathyroidism, thyroidism, ovarian syndromes like this. Then my periods disappeared. My skin is really dry, especially on hands. Of course, that's the lymphatic system dehydrating you. I bruise easy. Okay, now, no, that's not pituitary, sweetheart. Parathyroid. Bruise easy is the parathyroid and parathormone. That's how you utilize calcium. The calcitonin comes out of the thyroid. So just remember, this is skeletal and connective tissue. This is also rate of metabolism, heart rate. You know, there's a lot of things associated with thyroid and parathyroid in that way. But that's parathyroid. But the pituitary link here is obvious. The pituitary could be suppressing your parathyroid gland and your ovulation. So, I'm just here to say that the pituitary sounds much involved in this case. Wouldn't hurt to pop up the parathyroid to give yourself some calcium utilization quicker, but I would go after my parathyroid. If I was using a glandular on myself, I'd probably use pituitary cytotrophin maybe twice a day, or 3 times a day, maybe 3 times a day. At the same time, I'd pick up my female reproductive formula. Same time, I'm cooking into my adrenals, my kidneys, I'm moving my lymph, I'm going to get my skin, I'm going to scrub my skin, I'm going to get myself sweating, that sort of thing. She also has sulfur in her eyes. Yeah, I mean, it's just the nature of the beast there, honey. I mean, it's just a sad thing when you look at how we've done in our healthcare system. And I bite my tongue when I refer to allopathy to healthcare, because there's no such thing. How great is it to know true color of my eyes and to see it is changing? Good girl, honey. Good girl. Would it be better for me to only on fruit? Absolutely. If you can, fruit, berries, and melons. Absolutely. You got a wide variety of them, and you got a lot of food there. That's in detoxification. If you want to pick up a salad at night, okay. But if you want to dig deeper in detoxification, we're talking about detoxification, then definitely the fruits and the berries and the melons. But simply there's no but. Thank you, Dr. Marsh. You're a very, thanks. I appreciate that, dear one. Milda from Lithuania. Thank you so much for that. A couple of weeks ago, the bowel seized up. Well, let's see what this one is. This one is a long one. Said my time's almost gone, so I'm going to look at this. Let me see here. This is Isabella. Hi, sweetheart. Not trying to ignore you, but quite a long post here. You're detoxifying, really lots of emotional releases happening too, spontaneous tears, joy. Yeah, that's a good emotional detox. It sounds like your adrenals are going to start working pretty good when you're done with this. And that's what you do, letting go of crap and stuff. Good girl. Man, you're kicking butt here. It's chemical, it's magnetic, it's energetic. Sound like you're a sweetheart, dear one. Let me see here. My question is staying on the detox. How hard is it on my body to have my ritual cup of coffee in the morning? This might be a good question for you guys. While juicing, you know, I use a splash of milk. No. Even the splash of milk is a no-no. That I will tell you. If you're going to do coffee, do 1 cup, okay, but really that's a stimulant, and if you need that stimulant, it just shows you haven't got your adrenals up yet, you haven't got these things on board. You know, some people I have to, you know, give them a cup of coffee or something like that. You're not overly sabotaging yours, but boy, I tell you, what your first meal does kind of sets you off for the day. I'd make my first thing that goes down my mouth a fruit meal. That's the first thing that goes down my mouth in the morning. If I got watermelon, I cut one this morning, okay, I guess. But that's the first thing that goes down my mouth. That starts the vibrational frequencies. That turns on the engine. That revs up the nervous system. That's high magnetic energy. Everything starts waking up. The lymph system starts moving. You start turning it on. As opposed to stimulants, which you're stimulating the liver, you're stimulating the pancreas, you're stimulating peristalsis. As opposed to stimulants, which you're stimulating the liver, you're stimulating the pancreas, you're stimulating peristalsis, you know, and that creates innervation on its flip side. So for now, do what you can, work yourself off of it in the future, get, you know, like chicory root or something, roasted chicory. There's a lot of, they have a lot of herbal formulas that taste just like coffee, but get rid of the milk. Dump that milk. If you're making that milk, coffee taste good with the milk, dump them both. I am Sabotage Man. I don't want to do cold turkey on the coffee. I love coffee. Well, then a mate as well, but tea is too. Yeah, you go to a tea or get a tea that tastes like coffee. Roasted chicory roots taste like coffee. There. How about honey? Yep, you could use honey. I have no problems with honey. It is okay. A lot of people think it's bee vomit, which, you know, however it is. A lot of people have negative aspects of honey. I know a lot of villagers that die for it, but then again, they don't have access to a lot of fruits and berries and things that are other sweet for them as opposed to honey. But I'm not opposed to honey. I personally have burned out on it. I mean, I eat it. I appreciate the honey from Switzerland. Super good honey. Moving to Idaho, appreciate all that honey, and I've been lipping on it. But those are good honeys. But the honeys that I grew up with in my health food stores and stuff, I literally just had too much honey in my life. You can burn out on some things, and honey is one of the things that I burn out on. I don't really overly like the flavor anymore. I don't use it much. But I am dipping on your guys' honey, and it is good. I do love it. Is it okay to have sprouted Ezekiel bread on a couple of times a week? Absolutely. Although, you could take Ezekiel bread and throw it against my drywall, and it'll make a hole in it. So something that hard, even though it's unleavened, something that hard is interesting to me in terms of being healthy for you. How about quinoa? Again, you're starting to move down into the grains and down into that sort of area of thinking. You might have a lot of fungus. If you have sulfur, you have a lot of fungus, sweetheart. So go after that fungus, and you won't be asking about quinoa and Ezekiel breads and stuff. But a little bit of that, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of that once in a while. If you're detoxing, make that very infrequent. In other words, once a week or twice a week as a pat on the shoulder. Look what I did. I hate to think it in that way because we do treat and, develop those kind of habits. But, whatever we can do to break the bond of this conditioning and this misinformation that's packed in our conscious minds or in the causal body, we've got to undo that and wrap it with truth. So do the best. I'm not perfect either, so do the best there. But when you're detoxifying, that's when you need to shinny up and get a little better on your focus. And you're all going to find that, as much judgment as some of you made toward me, you're going to find that in your lives here. Only 1 or 2 people in the world can claim they've been all raw and nothing cooked whatsoever for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. I did it for about 15, but I can tell you, it just, and if you become worldly, if you live in a cave, no problem. Can I eat it with veggies? Quinoa? Yeah, absolutely. How about almond milk for my smoothie? See, you're asking about all the things that I would say yucky to. You're asking all the things, and when you start picking up these things, you're not going to detox well, and you're going to get frustrated. So you're picking up too many things. And I'm the reverse. When you ask me about that, I'm going to actually turn this around on you, sweetheart, and say, you know what? Why don't you shuck all this and do better? Why don't you get more fruits, berries, and melons, and then maybe a salad a day and try to go all raw? I mean, I don't know where you're at in detoxing and the like here, but if you really want to get deeper into your body, you've got to let these things go and make them once a week type thing. It's just kind of one of those happy meals that you did it. However, the taste of a big bowl of fruit for me far exceeds a bowl of quinoa. I would not get used to using almond milks or any other milks in smoothies. I would use a true smoothie to me is using a fruit juice base. Apple juice is the most commonly used. I use grape juice, but I use fruit juices as a base. I don't use coconut milks as a base. You could probably use that as a base in a smoothie. I throw coconut in my smoothie, but then but using almond milks and yogurts and stuff, people have to get away from that. And of course, if you buy almond milk, you're buying a pasteurized ingredient. If you're going to make almond milk, better. But again, you're talking about very concentrated milk, a very concentrated milk. And so you have to be careful about these highly concentrated protein type drinks, especially if you're in pain or you're hurting or you're full of mucus and stuff. Detoxify yourself and then introduce that in minute amounts in your life and you'll be good. How long should I stay on the stomach and bowel and parasite formula? Well, if you have sulfur in you, you might want to stay on that parasite M for several months. Then you can come off of it, and if you don't have any craving for quinoa and breads and stuff like that, you got a hold of your fungus. But as soon as you start saying, boy, that quinoa sounds good, that's fungus saying, hey, I'm hungry. So then I would go back on parasite M. Stomach and bowel, depends what your eyes look like. I have people on that for 6 months to a year, if not a lot longer. That's a good formula. There's nothing in there abrasive. It's all healers and really cleans up the bowel. By the way, the second day on the stomach and bowel, number 3, I am having bowel movements after eating or drinking my meal. Wow, good deal. Good deal. Well, you're kicking butt there. When you ask me, I'm going to just keep trying to pull you up on this. Listening to talk about neurotoxins, absolutely. Eliminate sulfurs, toxoplasmosis as a child. Oh, Jesus. Oddly, it manifested itself after I smacked my head against a pole riding my bike. Oh, my God. Doctors were not used to seeing that kind of infection. And, well, you know what? That really smacks here of heavy lymphatic toxicity, dear. So, actually, you probably want to eliminate all those things you were asking me about and really get deeper into this here. Shot in my eye, a period on cortisone. Yeah, it sounds like you're not moving your lymph well here, dear. And you go to brother, you're finding the same type of things there. I like your idea about the brain and nervous system for detox. It picks up the nervous system, helps the body to detox better. I would do a lymphatic bowel. I still like the lymphatic 1 capsules. Use one of those and then use a liquid lymphatic, and at the same time you could use kidney number 1 capsule or kidney number 1 and 2 liquid as well. I think really what we have found that more aggression toward kidneys and the lymph system is appropriate. Don't ever forget the endocrine glands. You always have to bring up the adrenals to get the kidneys to filter. So those are some of just the few basic things, and it's not a lot. It's just GI tract, it's lymphatics, it's kidneys, and it's endocrine glands. That's the Fab Four. That encompasses the bulk of the human body, reaching into nervous systems and everything else. So appreciate your post. I'm going to have to break it here, unfortunately, and write this up so Chris can get it on for you. And thank you so much for your questions. I apologize for those that I'm just not getting to. Please, if you're suffering, call in here. We'll help you the best we can. We have staff that has to answer the phone that's not well informed, so don't get upset at us. We have some of the new guys there either answering the phone, trying to help answer phones. So hang in there. We're going to help you all. Oh, I wanted to add to this video, since I got through with my last client early. I want to go ahead and add to this video here. And so Chris hasn't been had a chance to get it up for you yet. One guy asked me here about that we haven't covered gout. And so I know I have covered gout. I know I've written it here. Here's one of them here. This is Bunt Bright. I've been just diagnosed with gout, Perrines, and was told I can no longer eat asparagus, broccoli, spinach, mushrooms, green peas, lentils, beans, onions, cabbage, melons, and apples. Oh, yeah, I had to be a medical doctor to tell you that one. Do you believe this is true? Well, gout is actually uric acid, and uric acid comes from basically 2 sources, proteins and fungus. I didn't understand the fungus part to a medical doctor who was a female who became a naturopath. And I went to, she had a blood chemistry seminar that she put on for physicians. And she had a unique way of analyzing blood chemistry to look into the body and see different things. That's been so many years ago, I can't even remember what her thought was on that. But one of the questions I remember asking her is, I was the only naturopath in the group, everyone else was medical doctors, and I told her I detoxify a lot of people, but what I noticed is a lot of people come to me with gout that is vegetarian. She said fungus. And so it makes total sense. And as I look at that, and I see like RA, and I see a lot of these arthritises and fibromyalgias, and you see the sulfur. Remember, I've talked about sulfur in the body being a fungal proliferant. And this is what you see. You see a lot of people with high fungal problems have high uric acid levels. So your gout, I had a guy fly in here. I can't remember where he flew in here from, but he'd been the world over. Very wealthy man, flew in the world over. Major gout, major pain. I had him out of pain in just a couple of months, and he'd been everywhere. He spent tons and tons of money. Moving that lymph is key to getting rid of gout, no question. This isn't a blood problem. This is a lymphatic problem. This is holding gout in tissue, like any other acid in tissue except gouty acid. Uric acid is a little more of a pinprick. My guess, the pH of uric acid, which I don't know what it is, but it's probably around 2.25 or something, a little bit below 3, my guess. But still, just detoxification. Move that lymph. Yeah, use Parasite M to get a hold of the fungus in you, but move that lymph if you want to get rid of uric acid or gout. That's all you have to do. You don't have to eliminate these foods either. I will say, though, I'm not really hot on the lentils. I'm not hot on the cruciferouses here, just because they're sulfur veggies. And cruciferouses tend to have a lot of sulfur. They're gaseous sulfur. Nothing healthy about sulfur, in my opinion, whatsoever. I don't want to give up my fruits and veggies. Well, do not give up your fruits and veggies, my dear one. Just get rid of the gout, which is uric acid, and just clean the body out. Always have to stick a name to something. But uric acid, just get rid of that. This was an interesting question. I had to actually look this one up because I'd never heard of this one. And this is pancreatic divisium, or division, where the two ducts that are supposed to become the main common bile duct doesn't fuse together. Interesting, in the embryonic stages. And so what they're saying here is that tends to have episodes of pancreatitis. Most people don't experience any problems. Well, I'll say this. If you have a situation like that, my guess is, again, going back to moving lymph and keeping the lymph system moving, even in the GI tract, would be very paramount to keeping pancreatitis out. Since pancreatitis really is a lymphatic problem, this goes back to that sort of thinking. And those that probably are having the pancreatitis from this probably do have the backed up interstitial lymphatic constipation. So in either way, when you're compromised that way, I would definitely stay on a high fruit and veggie diet, but particularly high fruits, berries, and melons. Clean up your lymph system, clean up the GI tract, get your kidneys and adrenals on, and always move lymph. Keeping a diet like that will keep all these symptoms down, and everybody's moving well. Enzymes pass freely through that. Everything's good, and you're good. The only other way would be, the backing up of these, and being on a diet like that and keeping the lymph moving, you're going to be in good shape. And that, I think, in any case that you see like that you've never heard of, and you're seeing symptoms like that, it just makes sense what symptom you're having symptoms when you're talking about pancreatitis or whatever. You'll know the system that's involved, you know the fluid that's involved, you know the cytochemistry that's involved, and what you have to do. And I think you'll find that in 99% of all cases, the deduction will end up coming down to the lymph, the kidneys, the adrenals, and cleaning up the gut. You'll come to those Fab Fours, where you'll see those issues there. Let me see here. Here's another one. The same one. I guess I don't know how to ask for help. No, I've addressed gout before. It's just sorry that it's probably been something that been lost in there somewhere or something. But I have addressed gout before. But again, that's what you want to do, is do detoxification. Now, when you're in gouty pain like that, you might want to stay away from the nightshades for sure. That's going to be your tomatoes, your eggplants, and things like that. Your peppers. If you're going to do peppers, go to the red ones and yellow ones or orange ones. Don't get to the green ones. You probably want to stay away from the citrus or the acid fruits. Stay away from those, get into the subacids, get into the grapes, get into the apples and the cherries and things like that, and really start moving that way. And I think that'll help the pain that you're having from that gout. Gout is a real pinprick painy thing, I'll tell you. But moving lymph is really, really key to that. Also, having some foot reflexology, moving these acids out of these nerve endings might be helpful if you're having it in the toes or in the feet there. But again, getting the kidneys and the lymph moving is key to eliminating gout or any other acidosis, any other acid out of the human body. It doesn't matter. They're all corrosive. They all hurt. They all have not a real happy ending. Even your acids of estrogen and testosterone can burn you. Oh, thanks, DTH 3545. Thanks a lot. I'm trying to disperse or put spirituality within the health issue here, because sometimes, there's just not a lot to say about things. And sometimes I find that way spiritually. Caught me 30, 40 years ago, I'd have talked your ear off when it comes to spirituality. Even nowadays, I'd prefer just to be it, just to channel it, if I could use that word. But so I'm hoping that by intermingling these higher aspects of life, that'll help us all. And of course, you all help me too. So we all get in our ruts and stuff. So really appreciate all your feedbacks and stuff. I really do. I appreciate all of you. And again, we're all just working through this, because there's so many things I don't understand yet. There's just so many levels to this that you just can't see unless you get out of the body more. And when I'm always working with out-of-body issues, I'm never around this world that I'm aware of. So I'm just not an area of concern. But I think that when you look at health simplistically, you're empowered, you can take it off and you can get it. When you start getting too intellectual and you start trying to understand it in terms of chemistry and physics, once you leave the simplistic side of chemistry and physics, it can get as deep as you want. And then you start getting into theories and disagreements. So it's better just to look into the world of creation, the world of the largest laboratory we have, which is planet Earth. It's like I've said, it's maintaining so many different life forms that's where the action is, and that's where our answers are. So it's sad that we even have to ask these questions. It's sad that we've lost our intuitiveness and what the body really needs and likes and what we're propelled to. Right now we have perverted tastes, and we're pervertedly propelled to foods that are not good for us. Oh, this is Far Above Rubies. I love that name. I just love Far Above Rubies. What a doll. Hello, Dr. Morse. My heart is set on receiving detoxification training from, great, on the Southwest College of Naturopathic Medicine in Arizona to become a naturopathic doctor. But which naturopathic medical school? See, now this is the sad thing about that. Naturopathic medical school shouldn't be one in the United States. Would you suggest that I attend? Really, I mean, I would love to see Bastyr and Southwest change their curriculum and become truly more naturopathic and less naturopathic medicine. But until then, I mean, you're spending, almost 5 years and coming out and can't heal anything. It's not enough to go 5 years to school and make people feel a little better and then put them all on supplements. That's not good enough. It is good enough to go through. That's why I tell people in 1 week I can teach you how to cure anything. 1 week. So when you talk about 5 years of wasting your time, I don't think any school should be over 2 years for healing, because what are you going to learn in all that time? You can really, in today's world, we should be able to trim all the fat off of all this and get right to the point where kids and people don't have to spend a lifetime in school, years in school, and come out and still can't heal people. That's ridiculous. I feel sorry for medical doctors spending all that money and going through that, and a lot of them go through enthusiasm to help mankind and everything, and then what they become is pharmaceutical pushers. I just think that's an insult to the medical doctor themselves. And then the way and I'm glad to hear a lot of medical doctors are getting away from the American Medical Association. I think they ought to start their own associations where they don't have the powerful influence of the Rockefellers and those people, where we become united as one instead of separate and more narcissistic. So I really think this is the time in our society where we need to put all our heads together and say what works, what doesn't work, throw out what doesn't work, keep what works. But I need all of you guys to prove it to the world, and you certainly are doing that. I am so proud of all of you guys, I can't even tell you. Some of you guys have gotten miraculous healings already, and it's just what you've been working for it. You are getting exactly what you're putting effort into. You're getting back what you're putting into it. So I'm real proud of that. I'm real proud to see you do that. This is Mike J. Pete. Dr. Morse, hey to you, my friend. What are the best methods of decalcifying the pineal gland? The only way to really decalcify is going with this, understanding that anionic movement, but I tell you, that's where you bring in base chemistry. And in that process of bringing in base chemistry, you'll create new ionizations, you'll create new avenues to where we start creating, moving an anionic environment into a cationic environment. And that's just going to be how you break down calcifications anywhere in the body, is moving more base chemistry through the body. And then you start breaking apart some of these bonds. And the body will do that, especially externally, and then you'll pull this back into the matrix of the connective tissue, perhaps of the pineal gland, or be carried away and eliminated, or used somewhere else. So definitely you want to get that, detox that lymph system and get that acidosis out of there, because that's where you get calcifications. Calcification doesn't occur in the blood like that, it occurs in the lymph system, and it occurs in the vascular walls, it occurs in all these places. But you might try upper circulation to move more base chemistry into those areas. Upper Circ can be a good help to that. At the same time, start cleaning up the gut, cleaning everything we've been talking about. Get the sinuses drained, get everything clean, get the kidneys filtering, get the adrenals up, get all these things happening, and that calcification will slowly break down, and you'll start getting more softer tissue, and then you'll start getting more performance out of the pineal gland. You start to see both the calcifications and the cholesterol just everywhere, and even in the youth. And this is a sad thing, but remember, this is the body's natural move, or the natural ionic move from base to acids, and that whole process of what happens, however level you wish to look at. Also, what is your view on the best methods of naturally reintegrating the wow. Wow. Some of these words I'm not familiar with. Through diet, spiritual exercise, and physical exercise. Thank you so much. Well, thank you for this. Hippocampus, I never heard of that. So I don't know. You have to tell me what all that is. Remember, I'm just a country boy. This is Mother Nature Heals. Love that name. Love that icon, Dr. Morris. In 111, Part 5, my question started on Part 2, so detailed was missed. Sorry about that. My sister is an islet cell transplant. I read that. She doesn't. I'm just kind of, when I'm going over these things, if I can read it ahead of time, I'm good. If I don't, I'm not. Because some of these are kind of lengthy. I want to get right to the core issue there, so I apologize if I missed that. I have others in here that's islet transplant, and I find incredible. And I'd wonder what success rate they have out of islet transplants, because so far the people coming to me as those that haven't had success with them. So I wonder how many people are having success. Again, here's the problem, though. This lady had an islet transplant, and yet her problem, remember I told you about her about post-surgery, after 4 surgeries on the knee, that the anesthesia had suppressed her nervous system to the point where it suppressed beta cell production of insulin. They did not understand that and did an islet transplant. Didn't work. So now that we've got her nervous system back in and getting a state of health and everything, things are working better for her. She's starting to even impact those new islets or beta cells. I think it's the worst thing that we head to surgery too quick, and this is an example of that, when we can regenerate the human body. So again, this is part of that. She doesn't take insulin anymore after 25 years. Good. So maybe the surgery was a success. That is great. However, she is getting more toxic from the anti-rejection drugs. Well, there's a certain point where I think you don't need the anti-rejection drugs, to me. The body either accepts those islets or it doesn't. It accepts those tissue after a while. I think that all has to do with the whole package of how you accept things. Also, I think in a detoxification where you're cleaning out these toxins, I think that's all beneficial too. I used to think maybe detoxification would actually remove transplanted tissues, because, but again, the body only removes that which is inferior and that which is not a part of its physiology. And so, you'll have to see how that is. I would, if I was doing this, I would probably be, of course, getting my body in a state of health, and the islets have to come along with that. And then, at the same time, I would strengthen my nervous systems just to make sure that you weren't a victim of that. But if the islets were successful, then probably had some beta cell problems. At the same time, what broke them down, and I would definitely keep going after that lymphatic system, and and seeing if I could wean down off of those. If it was me, that's what I would attempt to do. You have to do whatever you feel in your heart is right. For me, I would definitely be trying to wean off to see if my body would accept those tissues. At a certain point, you got to say they accept those tissues, and then you're in good shape. By suppressing your immune system all the time is counterproductive to wellness. So you want to work through that in some way or another there. Titration is always smart whenever you're trying to accomplish these things. She is dehydrated and anemic. Her doctor is mainstream, of course. Any suggestions? Well, absolutely. I mean, just because you have an islet transplant, you go after health. You go after health in the way we're talking about. You go after the kidneys. You go after your adrenals. You start hydrating your body. That's all acidosis. So you want to, that's the lymph. Of course, that's what breaks down cells. So you want to go after now the cause of these things, and then I think your body will accept that, make it a part of the pancreas, and everybody's good. I think you'll be okay there. But I've had other people, multiple organ transplants, high on these detox programs, never had a problem one. So just, you have to kind of work with that and see how you do with that. But titration would be a good idea. It'd be nice if these docs would help us in these type of situations, knowing the effect of these immunosuppressors, and the fact that if you can get off of them, that would be the cat's meow. And certainly by getting the tissues healthy all through the body, then those tissues are going to come along with it, and everybody should be good, and you probably have a good chance of getting off of them. They say she's doing best they know of, but it leaves her throwing up 4 days a week. Yeah, I'd definitely work myself off of them if it was me, no question about it. Trust in your body and trust in everything like that, and don't even have a negative thought about it. Have a positive thought, so all energy's flowing, even through the new islets, flowing through your whole body like that. Everybody's one, everybody's accepted, everything's good. Do it from a spiritual viewpoint too, and I think you'll be very successful. Dr. Morris, this is I'm stupid 411-4. Oh. You're not stupid. That's your name. I am. That's pretty. I don't know. I just got turned on to your videos, and I am now planning on growing a nice big fruit and vegetable farm. Yeah! Smart person right there. I love that. I want some fruit off of your trees. I have one question, though. In your videos, you talk about detox and stuff. I want to build muscle and become physically fit as well, but you say stay away from proteins. Exactly what vegetables should I be eating at night? Well, I think it's always great to detoxify as much as you can first. That way you're correcting malabsorption, any digestive problems, all the acidosis out of the body. You're going to correct all that, any kidney weakness, the adrenals. Everybody, go for that first. Then you can shift to your greens. I'm an alfalfa freak, so pump alfalfa, alfalfa juice, alfalfa sprouts, all that's good. Pack up on your salads if you want. Avocados are great, things like that. You can use the greens to pack up strong muscles if you want. If you're going to build up, definitely build up with the strong muscles. I don't know if this book is back out again. Where is it here? Yeah, oh, wow. It's getting covered up with all those beautiful cards and everything. This is Arlen, Stephen Arlen. I thought this book was out of print. How to build muscles on your vegetables and fruits and stuff. But you want to first make sure you're digesting, you're absorbing your nutrition correctly, and all of that. That's why it's important just to focus on the health first. Don't worry about that. And then as you start opening all these doors, you can put on muscles properly. You won't acidify the body. You'll bring on nice strong muscles, but you'll have the flexibility. You won't have a stiff body. You get to keep the kidneys, and everybody's good. That's how I would do it, and I think that's how Stephen Arlen and a lot of the other people that are building up good muscles get over the idea that you want to be a packer, because you know what, it only lends to itself to really serious problems in the future. You can ask almost any bodybuilder, and it's unbelievable. Remember that great big, I've never seen muscles like this. They popped, and now it's not pretty, and not pretty at all. I mean, these poor people, they do that. But head down that way, and congratulations. And I'm stupid. That doesn't fit you. You're not stupid. That doesn't fit you. You're a smart fella here. I can see that already. This is Son of the System. I like Son of the System. Wow. Wow. I had some trouble with my eyes. I was almost a year ago, I watched a movie in 3D. Whoa, 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 whoa. While watching the movie, I got a headache, and the next day I was dizzy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wow. And couldn't watch a new movie because my eyes didn't work as usual. Wow, that's scary. That's freaking scary right there. Oh. That's the first time I've heard anything like that. That's really scary. Wow. I can't easily describe what was going on, but my eyes couldn't stay focused on the screen. I felt the same for 2 weeks, but then it got better. Now, many months later, I still have dry and strained eyes. This makes much of what I like to do more difficult. If I focus my eyes on what I'm playing on my guitar, yeah, my eyes get dry and so on. I've been to doctors and they said they can't help me. I've tried water fasting, a few herbal teas, eating only fruits. I've tried some remedies, but nothing has worked really. All I do now is eye exercises and breathing techniques to relax the eye muscles. Okay, so here goes. I wonder if you can share with me anything. Absolutely. Thanks to you, Mattis, 19-year-old Swede. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for your comments. Listen, I'd get the eye wash and I'd start washing my eyes at least twice a day with the eye wash, morning and night. Get a little eye cup if you don't have them. We sell them here for a couple bucks. A little eye wash, real handy. Get you some skin temperature water in there. Go start with 6 drops, work up to about 12 to 15 drops in there. Wash your eyes out. Now you're going to really promote blood and lymph flow doing that. At the same time, get upper circulation and the new brain and nerve formula. That's going to shove blood all up in the eye tissue, brain tissue, and the new brain and nerve formula is going to strengthen that optic nerve, and it's going to strengthen the nerves that infiltrate and the rods and cones. It's going to really strengthen all that up. At the same time, I'd really be honking on my lymph system, because whenever you start to see dry eyes and stuff like that, you're very acidic in these areas. And this is the thing, is that generally maybe this 3D wouldn't hurt an average person, but you could be highly backed up in your lymph system in your eye and just took you over that realm, just took you over the fence there. So I would definitely clean up my GI tract, go after my kidneys, go after my adrenals, really build that up and move that lymph and get yourself to drain. Try to have cold and flus. If you want to take a little remedy, pop my ear candle. Use ear candles, 2 or 3 per ear. Really start pulling all this lymph out of there so these acids will come out of there. Same time, use that eye wash. And there's all kinds of things. We got other formulas here with raw eye tissue, stuff like that. I know it sounds gross, but some of these things, when you get hurt yourself real bad, sometimes these things will help you tremendously. But I think the upper circuit brain and nerve will really instigate some good new nerve performance there for you. At the same time, I'd use the eye wash, and at the same time, I'd be detoxifying that lymph system, my man. All right, thank you. Keep playing on that guitar. How can we get a good photo of the iris? Good question. I've had them in here from cell phones, and I've had crappy ones. Ophthalmologists, a lot of them take excellent pictures up close. Some iridologists have good cameras, some iridologists don't have good cameras. You just have to feel your way through that. Ophthalmologist is where I send people, or iridologists. I think every iridologist should have a camera and get people excited about looking at the eyes and what the eyes have to offer without getting too far out on tangents. German iridology, sometimes you get too far out on a tangent. When you look at someone's eyes and say, well, you've been on a vacation for a couple of weeks, I see it in your eyes, that's too far out. So really keep it civilized, keep it normal, because remember, we're trying to show the world that our science is viable, our science is ethical, our science is science. Our science are based on fact. And we are a powerful modality to deal with, and our results are incredible. That's what we're here to show the world. If we get too picky, too far out, then you start losing these intellectuals, which is okay, but at the same time, we want to show stability, we want to show strength, we want to show we're God people. We're here with truth, honesty, and integrity. We're here to heal the world. We're here to make the world happy. We're here to put smiley faces on 100 trillion cells in the human body and one big cell on the human body. And that's what we're here to do. And we're going to walk with ethics, but we're also not going to take your crap anymore. So that's kind of where we're at and where we need to be. We need to be a strong force to be reckoned with, based on science, based on factual science, not hypothetical theories that have no basis there. When it comes to theories, you can hack them, you can look at them, but keep them as non-factual until you know the facts of the case. All right, I got to run. So thank you so much for everything, and we shall talk to you as soon as we can. Love you all, and may the blessings be. Have all kinds of fun today, and have a good piece of fruit, berry, or melon on me. Those of you who have been here, my friends from Switzerland, you've seen what this area has for you. Zit for good fruit. See ya.